Everybody, you know what I'm saying, a place, a position, and a purpose. Share, you know, my you can go further faster. Then, you know what I'm saying, I feel like, you know, this is kind of like me fulfilling some sort of a prophecy. I mean,
Right.
I think, you know, that's just, you know, if I would have delved deep into it, I'd speak like that. But if I just keep it simple, and I say, okay, Doc, go ahead and start asking the questions.
All right, let's get to it. Let's do it to it. So, you know, absolutely. As I read a snippet of your background, we know that you built a brand, and that is what, you know, that is the sustaining factor in this industry. It's not just being the artist, it's building a brand. So how do you build a brand, and what do you think has made your brand successful?
How do you build a brand?
Yeah, and what
Okay,
is
so I
made
think
it
that
successful? So what would be some of those key components of, you know, building the brand, and what has
how you
made
build the
yours
brand
successful?
is basically you find out what you're good at, what your strength is. In my vision, building a brand is about finding as something that they're good at, that they have to offer the world, that only that they can provide or contribute. So building a brand is identifying that thing and making it available to people who also appreciate this thing. And how I was able to do it, I think the first thing that I needed was vision. I had to have a vision, because if I couldn't see myself doing the things that I'm doing now, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
I think ambition, vision, perseverance. I think, you know, all these things culminate just the, the energy that it takes to get from, you know. Can you hear me, Doc?
Yeah, I got you now. You kind of froze up, but you know,
Yo.
your brands are, you know, you have that vision. You have that vision, but yours are successful. There are a lot of people that have started some things that, you know, they don't go. It doesn't matter who they are. You know, it doesn't matter what their, you know, status is in this industry, but they don't amass the same amount of success as your brand. So what do you think has attributed to that success in all of your business ventures?
I think that success comes from an ability to identify a demand for something in the market. You know, and once you've identified that demand, then, you know, you execute plans and strategies in a way to supply that demand. I think that's what contributes to success. There's something about me and what I've gone through, and something about my makeup that relates to so many other people for some reason. Whether it's that, you know, they can recall someone like, you know, with my kind of temperament in their community growing up, or whether they see some of me or themselves in me, or some of me in themselves. I think that continuous ability to make that connection, you know what I'm saying? Make that connection and provide something significant that is unique, you know, to the experience. I think that's what, you know, kind of contributes to my success.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's evident in all that you do. So let's shift, and we're going to talk a little bit about financial literacy, financial freedom. And one of the questions, now I'm asking you questions that have been some submitted by the law students that are on today, and some from the actual law schools. So these are things that they want to know from you. And one of those questions is, how does financial literacy and financial freedom What does that mean to you, and how have you managed to successfully grow your brand with your knowledge of financial literacy and goals for financial freedom? And we know that's huge, especially for, our community. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, I think just to keep it simple, I feel like financial literacy, of course, now, learning the minutia of financials and getting into the weeds of it all. We could be there all day, talking about particulars. But in a nutshell, keeping it simple, I think financial literacy is the difference between using money as a toy or using it as a tool. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, we get money and we use it as a toy. We play with it, throw it around, make ourselves happy, fulfill our desires, stroke our own egos, impress other people. And, you know what I mean? And if you use it like that, you'll have a good time, but it's gonna go fast. You know what I'm saying? But
money go fast, and it will not last.
Absolutely, man. But if you use it as a tool, if you use your money and invest it in things that will open doors and create opportunities for you to invest in more things and to pathways in business that did not exist before.
Mm-hmm.
I think that allows you a more sustainable go round.
Yeah. And you've talked a lot about legacy building, and this goes into our next question, because we see you in this legacy building type moment, usually at all times. I mean, from not just you made it, but also the other people around you are able to eat because you are providing these opportunities for so many people. And even your show, I mean, it could have been the Tip show, it could have been the TI show, and everybody else, just kind of fall in line. But you have one of the questions, and it is so befitting because it is so good to see people see you how I see you, as a legacy builder. And the question is, you have grown a successful enterprise with your family. Okay. It says, how have you set boundaries to ensure the success of this enterprise while maintaining your family dynamics? Because, everybody sees you as a legacy builder. Everybody sees you as this family man. I don't think that there is a human alive that hasn't observed you as family first, father first, husband first, at all times. So talk a little bit about that and how you've set boundaries and working with your family and building an enterprise and a legacy for people that are behind you and some people that you won't even know because it will continue.
That's a tough question. Like a lot of the how did you do it kind of questions, I don't really know the proper way to answer it because I don't incorporate very much thought into it. It isn't something that, right? It isn't something that I contrive. It's so second nature. It's like it kind of like inhaling and exhaling. What makes me put one foot in front of the other and push to go forward? Like It just, I mean, again, it goes back to vision. Okay, as far as my family dynamic, you're right. It could have been the Tip show, and it probably would have been the Tip show if they did not show up and display such a high level of unique talent. You know what I'm saying? If Major has his own skill, his own timing, I didn't teach him. I don't ask him to do it. He just shows up and says stuff, and everybody's like, where did he get that from?
And when he says stuff, it's funny to watch him say stuff. That's the part I'm looking at. I'm looking at you, looking at him.
Never ceases to amaze me.
Did you just say that?
Never ceases to amaze me. And I think his ability to do that created a moment, a position, and a connection with the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
I had no hand in that. All I did was the camera showed up because they wanted to see T.I. getting out of prison. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what they wanted to see. This guy, we've heard so much about him. He's a big.
I think we got you freezing up a little bit.
Now. How about now?
Yes.
Okay.
You sounded like T-Pain a little bit for a minute, and you disputed T.I.
Well, you know what, man? I think the broadband Wi-Fi would have a lot to do with that. But in a nutshell, what I'm saying was the network showed up because they wanted to see a superstar who keep getting in trouble, get out of jail, and how he's going to reacclimate himself. But when the cameras got there, they saw something they didn't expect to see. I didn't expect for them to see. They saw hidden talents, hidden ambition, hidden ability in my family around me, and how I kind of incorporate myself in that, and how I support that and still maintain what I am and who I am out there in the world. That was the dynamic that made the show, or that makes the show what it is. Not have produced it. If I go tell Major, hey man, come say something cute, he gonna look at me and say, Pops, get out of here.
Right. He's like, I'm not on demand. I'm just
right. Exactly. I think, and you just brought up something that I feel is incredibly important. Just being you. Just being you is enough. And a lot of us don't understand that. We don't get that. We've never taken the time to consider. A lot of times people spend so much of their time trying to be everything that they're not, instead of focusing on how to be a better version of everything that they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so great. And you have I don't know how many, I'm about to 114 potential attorneys that are coming out in the world, lawyer leaders, as we like to call them at Southern University Law School. And I'm proud of all of the work that you guys are doing that are on. So how do you see this group of individuals coming into an industry like yours? And where do you see a place for them? I know, everybody knows that they will not have the chops, they will not have the entertainment acumen that you have, but they can support a person like you. So what roles in support do you see people like the Southern University Law students? I mean, you have somebody incredible like Toyan that, reading contracts and making deals happen. And, stuff happens well before it even gets to you, because when it gets to you, it should come to you a certain way. So talk a little bit about that process and what you expect for people that work in your camp, because it's not just homeboys and homegirls just making decisions. It's a business. So talk a little bit about that.
I think it's also difficult to answer because there's such a uniqueness about this particular unit that supports my efforts. If this same unit was working with someone else, they'd have to apply a different set of skills and strengths to execute that person's vision. My vision, I think the main thing necessary is kind of understanding what you don't understand without trying to suffocate the idea. A lot of times I come and I say this random kind of wild, outlandish stuff. You know what I mean? And everybody kind of, I get the energy whenever I say that I want to do certain things, and everybody's kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing, but somebody telling me it's crazy. You know, I'm not.
Hold their mouth. Yeah.
Somebody tell them that it's impossible. And so the first thing I want you to know, nothing ever happened that changed the world that everybody saw at the same time as the person who introduced it. You're never gonna see it, you're never gonna get it. But understanding that, like, I don't get it, but it ain't my vision, I'ma just you have to have an innate love for conflict resolution and problem solving. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, people executing my vision, they don't do it as good as they're doing it because, you know, well, I work for him and it's my job, so I better do it. It's like, okay, I've accepted this challenge and I love solving problems. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm gonna see. And inevitably, when they do, they present it to me, and we press play, and it worked.
Right.
And so we just take turns doing that. Sometimes they present me with issues, and I have to, you know, apply my critical thinking and find ways to create contingencies, you know, to go over, under, around, or through, and you know, and we solve problems that allow us to move forward, move further.
Yeah.
And I think that is the skill and the ability that it takes to support a visionary.
Yeah. And you're so right, because, you know, you have people that are on this call that, you know, most of them would, you know, love an opportunity to work in an industry or to work with someone like you and executing vision.
Be careful what you ask for.
Right, because you just might and that's exactly what I'm saying. So the real, you know, so let's talk a little bit about, you know, what it really looks like. I mean, it's not this glamorous show up at the movie set and, you know, it's all, you know, just perfect and said and done. So, you know, what does it look like for someone that's on the team?
Well, that depends on the day. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me to answer these questions because from my perspective, from my vantage point, it looks so much different than if you were to ask Toyan, or if you were to ask Dina or Nakia or Doug, or like, you know, they kind of see me as who did Leonardo DiCaprio play in Aviator? Hughes? Was it Howard Hughes?
Okay, let's get the chat. Somebody in the chat, let us know.
If I'm not mistaken, it was, okay.
Oh, somebody's saying yes. Okay, good.
Yeah,
okay,
probably, yes. So they kind of see me a little bit like that. You know what I'm saying? I just show up and, you know, okay, this is what we're working on. Scratch that. This is what I want to do. This is what it is. And you got to, you know, figure this out, get it together. And everybody's like,
we were on planet. Crazy. So it's like the Wiz. It's like the Wiz. So you call the caller, let's go.
I mean, but to be honest with you, I move. The reason why I do so many things or I have so many businesses or streams of revenue is not because I just developed all of these skills at one time. It's because I have visions. I see things. I can see things in my head. Ideas and visions kind of swirl around in my head to the point where they keep me up at night sometimes. And those visions and ideas, they used to come in the form of metaphors, similes, antonyms, double entendres, and, you know, and bars for songs, hooks and verses. They used to come in the form of that.
Wow.
And as I evolved, as I matured, they began to come in different forms. They come in scripts or ideas for movies sometimes. They come in ideas for products. They come in like just in my life as I live and kind of navigate my way through the culture. I see the things that exist that don't exist. I see the holes, you know, and things that are fragmented that could use some mending. And okay, well, if we just applied this, then this would make my life easier. And if it makes my life easier, surely it'll make other people's lives easier as well. You know, those types of things. Why hadn't anybody ever done this? That's the way, you know.
Right.
And I feel like, you know, that's what keeps me up. And as I have to see these visions manifest, you know, or else I feel like I'm not fulfilling my destiny. So I put it out there. I don't try to complete it myself. The vision is mine. However, the action and execution that it takes to get it done, that is the work we share, you know, me and the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's where I want to go. And that's perfect.
But we share, we take turns being in certain positions. I give you an example. The Trap Music Museum was
my favorite place.
It wasn't my idea to begin with. You know what I'm saying? In a strategy meeting where we're all spitballing, brainstorming ideas about how to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Trap Music album, which launched the genre. We try to figure out how to celebrate that moment. So everybody was just saying, you know, a lot of different things, pop-up shows, collab merch items, and you know, somebody said, well, what about a Trap Music Museum? And of course, as most things that are phenomenal in the world today, it was met with extreme opposition.
Crazy.
How you gonna do a museum? When you gonna do that? How is that gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? And as that happened, right?
It sounds crazy saying it at first.
At that moment, in that moment, at the same time, while everyone's criticizing it, we're also like, how would that happen? What would it take to
sound crazy, but kind of dope?
You know, so at that point, I took the idea, accepted the challenge, and simultaneously,
like giddy up.
Simultaneously, because the Super Bowl was on the way to Atlanta, I was acquiring, you know, commercial properties. So I had, you know, a building or two that I had not created a purpose for, that I hadn't developed a use for. So while that idea of how to, you know, how would I make a Trap Music Museum a reality, as that idea swirled around in my head, and the idea of what am I going to do with these buildings before the Super Bowl comes, is those ideas kind of those like, okay, I have to solve these things. They swirl around in my head.
Yeah.
They just kind of began to infuse themselves, and I said, this is the building. And I walked in and I said, okay, I can see it. And I just began, we just began to
do the work.
Rush out that, we made a list of who should be in there. Then we kind of renovated the entire place, tore all the walls down. And because it had never been done before, I must have I tell them today, man, put this wall right there. Then Doug would come in and say, nah, it's terrible, take it down. You know what I'm saying? And so
like what?
The general contractor was like, man, we just worked all day yesterday putting this wall in. Well, it can't be there. It's not going to work. Take it down. You know what I'm saying? So trial and error is really kind of like what has allowed us. I am a habitual risk taker.
Yes. I mean, a trap museum. That's bananas. First off, that is one of those. It doesn't exist. It doesn't even make sense. And then once it's done, it's like, why haven't we done this before? Like, why isn't this like?
That is the best shit you can do. Excuse my language.
Right?
That's the best moment you can find. Something that doesn't exist, hasn't been done before, But once you do it, everyone's like, how have I lived all my life without this?
Without this, right?
Is what you call the sweet spot. All of us can go along and do what everyone else is already doing and find ways to improve how we do it, how we present it. And that's great. When you do that, it's phenomenal, right? But the real tip of the pyramid, if you will, is when you find something no one else has done that they can't tell you how to do because there's no example before it.
No.
You can't really be criticized. You only must be judged off of the success of this execution. And I think if you do that correctly, then you find a way to scale it and repeat it, then you will have imminent success.
I love it. So I wanna shift because I don't know how much time we have, but I have to ask you because so many people are texting and chatting about what do you look for people on your team? What is that? You know, we talked about hustle. We talked about flexibility. You've alluded to the point that, hey, you have to have people on the team that are, that can resolve conflict and have those soft skills that are necessary to put your vision into play. So people want to work with TI. People want to work with people like TI. What is your selection process? What are you looking for?
Man, people that are self-motivated, for one. I don't
self-motivated.
I'm self-motivated. Like I said, what drives me is the ideas and visions that I have swirling around in my head. So don't nobody have to get up and say, hey, you got to work on your vision today. Hey, you got to work on your ideas, make them become reality today.
Right.
Nobody has to do that. I'm already up and I'm at it. I'm calling people, hey, okay, so look, what we were talking about yesterday, I think this is the way we can do it. Okay, look, never mind what we were talking about yesterday.
And wait, and put a pause right here. And when he's calling you, it's not at 8 to 5, by the way.
Mm-mm. There are no business hours. There's no such thing. I work at, listen, man.
From can to can.
You're gonna have to find a way to move with the money at the speed of opportunity. I'm moving when the money moves.
Where the clap hand? I got to find the clap hand or something. My clap hand, I can't locate it. But yes.
You must move with the money at the speed of opportunity. If your opportunity moves going 100 miles an hour and here you is trotting at 50, you dead. You
done missed the money, man. You done missed the money.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of people, they say they want to work with people like me, and some of them do it first, but then they get in it and they see your dates are split in half. You know what I'm saying? You have made plans and now you're on the phone pacing outside of a restaurant for 2 hours with me trying to, connect with. I just called you and put you on the phone with somebody who presented an opportunity, and I'm expecting for you to either find a hole in it or find a way to execute it so we can bring it into fruition. And I don't want you to say I'm not gonna hear, oh well, I'm with my girlfriend, it's her birthday. I don't care.
The money moving because the money's moving.
Right? She has a birthday, and I would be out pacing in front of a restaurant on her day. So if I'm gonna put myself through that, if I'm gonna lose sleep, and that's another thing, I don't really sleep that much. So a lot of people feel like, damn, we just got off the phone at 3. Why are you calling me at 8:30? You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm up and making money.
Yeah, like we might be in the studio, leave the studio at 3, 4 in the morning, and because whatever we were talking about, dealing with, it woke me up at 7. I got it. And so I got to call you, tell you, hey man, I got it. What we were talking about yesterday, like, okay, can you have it? Yeah, good morning. So this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we're gonna, you know what I'm saying? So those moments are less glamorous. I remember I used to call my engineer, not so much now, you know what I'm saying, but I used to call him at 4:30 in the morning and say, hey man, I got an idea for a song. I got it.
Let's
I'll
go.
come until you get here. And he's like, I'm on the way.
I'm coming.
You know what I mean?
I'm coming. Me
I
get my
mean,
throat up.
it was so many songs that we recorded like that. I think What's Up, What's Happening was one of them. No Matter What was one of them. I remember a lot of the King albums we recorded like that.
Yes.
And so you gotta move with the money at the speed of opportunity. Don't
right.
let it pass you by. Don't let somebody else outwork you.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you have an elevated level of skill, but someone else has more tenacity than you, and they gonna beat you to the opportunity and outperform you every time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I absolutely, it is so true, and move with the speed of the money. I hope you all are taking these nuggets. I think I'm going to ask Marla to come on and just let us know on time. I know we were shifting and they've been shifting, and we're excited. This conversation is so rich. Marla, where are we on time? Are we good? We have, because Tip and I, we can talk all day. We can just talk like we Saturday, we'll just kick back,
We have another panel that was supposed to start at 10, but I've let the panelists know that we're probably going to start at about 10:30 for the role of entertainment attorneys. So we have some more time, but while I'm on the screen, I want to publicly acknowledge Mr. Tip T.I. Harris for spending time with us today and imparting his knowledge and wisdom, especially since it's his birthday week.
And it's his birthday. Hey, damn, I brought the dab back for your birthday.
Right. Pushed his schedule back. He was supposed to be on vacation today, but he is so committed to HBCUs, important knowledge and wisdom to our students, and bringing to you all what his area of expertise is, that he pushed his birthday plans back. So please, everybody, wish him happy birthday. Happy birthday from myself and SULC.
Yes.
And we are just overwhelmed that you shared of your time with us today. So
thank Mrs. Harris.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Tiny
Thank
Harris.
her for letting us have you today.
She got her mouth open snoring.
Don't tell on my girl. Why are you? Don't put her out there on blast. Like, really? You gonna put my girl out there on blast? Oh,
hey,
man.
Her and the baby.
I'm sure she's sleeping like this. No. She sleeps more like a princess. She sleeps like this.
Yeah.
You like, no, she's sleeping like a wild person right now.
I mean, but look, man, I appreciate you guys' consideration and acknowledgement. I'm sure Tamika does as well. I mean, what we do, is validated or like deemed exceedingly important by how much of an impact is made on you all's lives. You know what I mean? So like that's what's important to me. It's important to me that something that I did, am doing, have done, will impact the lives of someone else that are meant to do great things, and allow them an opportunity, allow them an ability to see their vision and see what, okay, it clicked. I know it, I got it now. And if that pushes them to go and create the first flying car, you know what I'm saying? Then great, because I've been waiting on this since a kid.
Right, the Jetsons. Remember we watched the Jetsons? I'm like, hurry up with it. Like, you had all this time. They had some runway to get it done.
So if this talk, you know what I'm saying, can spark the match inside of the mind of the person that's meant to go and create that thing in the world that doesn't exist, but that we need all too much. If this can contribute to that, then I feel like that's me fulfilling my life's purpose.
Well, I'm glad you're on, and we so let me just make a point of clarification. Your birthday is not today; it is on the 25th. But he was supposed to be in an undisclosed location with his feet kicked up. So that's why we're just appreciative that you pushed your vacation back one day for birthday. We have Toyon Julian. She's down there on the screen. Your right hand man, woman. And I do, while the two of you are here, this is a unique opportunity because we have the person, the chief of staff of your enterprise and you. So I would like to hear a little bit from her. You know, you had an opportunity to hear Mr. Harris talk and him talk. So tell us a little bit about that experience, Toyon, working with him.
Uh-oh.
He's like, and say this stuff. Don't mess up.
No. I was having a conversation with someone in the morning.
That's weird feedback. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I think the biggest thing with working with Tip is, as he said, he's a visionary. So you have to be flexible. So he will call you when you're 75% down the road on one project and then say, I have this other project. But the key is that you don't put down the one that you've already been working on. You just kind of add the new one to the list and shift the priorities. So I think the biggest thing for me is always making sure that every single thing is still on the list. Nothing falls off the list unless he says, we're not doing that anymore. And I think that for me is the key, that you put everything on the list. And when he calls at 4 a.m. or whenever he calls me and says, hey, can you check out this, blah, 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 blah. You know, I'll check it out. I'll put it on the list. I'll call him the next day and kind of really figure out with him, is this a bigger priority than some other things? What are the other things that are going on? And I think the biggest thing for me to allow him to be as creative as he needs to be is to stay on top of all the things. So, you know, as we've said before, he has 7 enterprises. There are things that I stay on top of so that he doesn't even have to think about them. So they're just done. And I think working with someone like him, numerous other artists I've worked with, you have to allow creative people to be creative and be there to support them, and support them, whether you're an attorney and you support their vision a certain way, whether you're doing business deals. And like he said, if he brings a business deal, we sit and we figure out whether, oh, he went away. We figure out if, he hung up on me.
He'll come back.
We figure out whether it's, you know, there's a hole in it and we shouldn't do it, or if we can do it the way it's done. And usually I'll figure out a way to maximize whatever deal he's brought in. So he'll bring in deals and I'll look at them and I'll say, this is a good deal. Let's make it a great deal. And, you know, what he was saying about his staff, it's very important. You know, there is a whole staff of people that support him. One of the things that's important, I think, when you work in a group, and anyone who's worked in teams can understand this, you have to make sure that I'm not A&R. Let me say that. I love music. I'm not A&R. I don't try to be A&R. I work with the A&R guy. I'll call him and be like, hey, Tip called me at 4 a.m. and he wants this, because there are things that he'll call me for that aren't my lane. There are things that he'll call the A&R guy for that aren't his lane. There are just a lot of things that, you know, he'll call whoever, I think sometimes the last person he spoke to, you know, or or whoever happens to be sitting with him in the studio at that moment. He might say, can you check on that? So it really is about the team also being a team, and not, I think working with an artist,
knowing everybody's role and not trying to step on it. You know, and you have all these attorneys on the line, and most of them would be supporting you.
Right.
And what you're doing, I mean, you know, so most of them will actually be working for you, madame. And so what, you know, what would you, with?
Yes.
With, okay, fine, with.
We are a even team. Everyone has say, everyone is important. We never say, you know, his attorney works for me, or, you know, the girl that is the operations manager works for me. We all work with each other and we all work for him. So.
So what would you be looking for in people, you know, working with you all? I mean, what would, you know, especially for attorneys that are coming, he back. Okay,
Make sure I don't say anything that he doesn't want me to say.
Right. No, it's like, what are we doing? No. But go ahead.
Hello. I think for me, as we look for, even as we're looking for people to come on staff, it is exactly what T.I. said. People that are self-motivated, because no one on this team has time to watch the other person to make sure they're doing their job. Everybody just has to do what they're supposed to do. And I think when we were talking earlier about me, the biggest thing for me is at some point in my life, I realized I'm a kingmaker. I'm not a king or a queen or an empress myself. I never want to be in the magazines, in the spotlight, the one that's, on the red carpet. If you see me on the red carpet, it's because I didn't run fast enough to get out of the way. I believe that it is very important to know that it's not about your fame and glory. It is about always, with Tip, it's always about what's best for him, what's best for his career, what's best for building his legacy, and not sitting here and saying, well, what am I going to get out of it? How am I going to benefit from this? That's never part of the conversation. And I think anyone who works with a celebrity and truly is successful is not, famous, is not known. There are so many people like Elliot, who you see over there, who is T.I.'s engineer, who has engineered all of his projects. I think no one on this chat would know who Elliot is, but without Elliot, T.I. would not be T.I. So that is my one.
Nor would he be on this Zoom call today.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think.
Nor would he be on Zoom.
Yeah. So I think that's a big thing, is when we look for people, we look for people that are self-motivated, can do stuff without being told, and also really are looking to, the vision is creating a legacy, creating, bigger enterprises, making sure everything runs smoothly, and it's never about yourself. I mean, it can't be, or it won't succeed.
And so, as you talked about, you're running to get, past the red carpet, but, the glamorous part of it, it's not all pretty. I mean, there is a lot of work that has to happen, all the way down to, yes, he has these huge enterprises and all of this, but he's also teaching a class with me. I mean, that has to be on the, I mean, even the small things like, hey, we're teaching a class this fall has to be on the list and has to get done. And the work that we, that is done behind the scenes is not always glamorous. I mean, it's not. And so for attorneys that are coming out and having to read contracts and do all of that to protect him, because that is it's like chess. The goal of chess, protect the king, right?
Exactly.
So he's the king. He's literally the king of the South. I mean, no joke. So
yes.
Hey. So the goal in this enterprise is protect the king of the South. So how does that work for people who are A-type personalities, who are some go-getters and some hustlers? What does that look like? And that's going to be our last question. I want the two of you, I want you to answer that, and then we'll have some final words from T.I., and then we'll exit stage, left, right, down, whatever.
I think, and Dr. Williams knows me well, I am super A personality. Like, I am a get it done, stay up 3 days straight until it's done. Everybody on our team is that way. So number one is it's a team. There is not one person that is doing stuff. There are so many people that are part of this team that are priceless, and I couldn't do anything without them. And I think that knowing that, it is more important for me that the king has a voice, is heard, can make changes, because I know he has more power than I do to make changes in society, in culture, in all the places that is very important. And for me, the social justice part of it is so important. And I know that his voice is a million times stronger than mine. So knowing that should satisfy anybody who has a type A personality, knowing that you're moving the world, changing things in the world, and assisting, someone like T.I. to make those changes is what, what drives me and makes me really, work really hard. And I think the legacy that he leaves behind is going to be so great, and it's going to be great for his children. And every person of color that's out there, that, you know, I couldn't be more motivated to make it succeed. And I think that as speaking to attorneys and people that work behind the scenes, that's really where you should get your satisfaction, is knowing that you are changing the world through the king, you know, and like on a chessboard, there are all those pieces that have to protect the king, and just learning how to work with all those pieces seamlessly and make sure that he is the number one priority, and that's it.
Yeah, because the mission and the vision that he has is so great and so impactful, and believing in that and pushing forward every day. And I can say I witnessed it in you, Tip. She in meetings scrapping down. He ain't gonna like that. That's not what we do. And I'm saying, yes, yes, Toyon, you better scrap down for the king. You better get that comma in the right place, because that's what he wants, the comma.
You're gonna take the sword for him. You're gonna make sure that when it gets to him, there are less barbs and wires on it, because there's a lot still to be done. So there's a lot that you know, you just gotta fall on the sword and take it and be like, okay, keep it moving.
That's right. That's right. So I thank you, my sister, and I enjoy working with you every day. We talk almost every day. So I want I want to give him the final word, if we can hear him. He's calling for backup. He's saying 1 second. See, he's my charades partner too, everybody. We play charades. And so I understand him, because we are national charade partners on a charade league internationally. I'm really shitting you all. So we're not charades partners.
And here comes Elliot to the rescue, who is, as
That's
I said,
right. You gotta be an Elliot. You gotta be an Elliot. You have to be an Elliot, man, to fix it. So here's the funny part. For all of you attorneys out there, there may be times that you might just have to write a simple 1-paragraph document that you think, I went to law school for that. Just like Elliot is trying to fix a Zoom thing.
And he's a Grammy Award-winning engineer, so
right.
So, but you know, and that's the other thing. You do what you have to. There are things that people would be like, that's not my job as this. You do what you have to. That's it.
That's right. That's right. And you've been in this industry for, I mean, eon. I mean, you look, I mean, it's not a slight, it's just, you know, a compliment to your work. But the thing is that, you know, it's about rolling up your sleeves and getting things done. So don't think that when you know, make it in this industry that you're going to be pointing and telling people what to do and, hey, get this done. It's still about, you know, making it all happen. And it's, hey.
Okay, all right. See, we did it. I'm sorry to interrupt. But
no, but could you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Did you know that we were national charade partners?
Yeah, I heard you say that.
Yes. I was like, sounds like, can't get no sound. Be back in 1 second. Okay, yes.
I think that, you know, the audience was letting me know that we were having an issue hearing me.
Yeah.
But what Toyon said, there's two things that came to mind as she was speaking. I think that working with, for one, anyone has to submit to the understanding of there's something greater than you. You see what I'm saying? You can't be working, or should I say, you would not find yourself you wouldn't be used at the best, in the best capacity if you're not understanding and accepting that your work is done, but you got to depend on something greater than you. For me, I feel like the thing that's greater than me is evolution. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people like Kilo Ali. And I know some of y'all, you know, probably way too young to know who Kilo Ali is, but Kilo Ali crawled so Outkast and Goody Mob could walk.
That's right.
So me, Jeezy, and Ludacris could run, so Thug, Future, and the Migos could fly. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
That understanding of, okay, yeah, I'm doing this and it's, it's dope and I'm good at it. But me being good at this is not the end all be all. This is just a part of a bigger mission that will, attribute to something greater than this later.
Right.
I think accepting that, understanding that, it allows you to work tirelessly. And as far as someone like Toyan or the other members that are on my team, for them, and I'm just trying to see, articulate it in a way that the people watching can kind of, place themselves in this situation or, in the environment. If you've ever seen that cartoon movie, How to Train a Dragon.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you have, just a regular kid that comes into the opportunity of this big fire-breathing, flying, magical, dangerous creature. You know what I'm saying? And, the kid's strength is enhanced by his ability to connect, direct, and guide this instrument.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I think if any of you find yourselves in the industry and you're representing someone like myself or someone like a Julio Jones or LeBron James or, anyone, Michael B. Jordan, whoever it is, understand that you are flying the dragon. You see what I'm saying? That means if you take this left when you should have went right, that's gonna be on you. You know what I'm saying? But you can't let the thought or the fear of making a mistake keep you from taking the risk that can be groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? I think fear kills way more opportunity than failure does. You dig?
That's right.
You know what I mean? You gotta be fearless. And I mean, when it comes to whether or not you will win, lose, fail, or succeed, you got to shut that off and just get out there and do it. And if you do it to the best of your ability,
right,
use everything you have within you and tap into everything that exists on your behalf in the universe, then you know what I'm saying, it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. Well, I am honored to have you as a partner in this work that we're getting to do. And it has been a phenomenal morning. I mean, I'm from, you my motivational person. I'm just saying. So I want everybody out there, make sure we're closing, and I want to thank you guys for, it's a tremendous group today, the Symposium of Attorneys of our future, one of our HBCU universities that, is a law school. I'm so proud of Southern University Law School. So shouts out to all of those that yeah, let's go. Yeah, so excited about that.
Thank you for not putting out a mixtape. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Thank you guys for actually dedicating yourselves to doing something that's off the beaten path of your generation. That I think that, to me, why die to fit in when you were born to stand out? You know what I mean?
That's right.
I think that is that's key, So I salute you guys on the phenomenal job that you're doing at extending or enhancing your education, and applying your time to future endeavors that can make the world or the world of entertainment a better place. Or you can make the world a better place by way of the world of entertainment. You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
I appreciate the opportunity to contribute and participate in that.
Yes. So and thank you, Toyan, for, getting us all together, making sure we were all where we were supposed to be and we're doing what we're supposed to do. Thank you, Marla. And I also want you guys, if you're not doing it already, make sure you are following Us or Else. Make sure you're following Trouble Man 31. Make sure you are following. You can follow a whole bunch of stuff he's doing. Cool Clothing, Hustle Gang. Make sure you are following all of our social media. So that you can stay in the loop with what he's doing and be a part of what he's doing. He's doing some phenomenal work. Read that letter, Lloyd's of London. It is putting people on notice. We didn't even get into that today. It's so much that we could talk about. We could be on this call another hour, right? So Marla, I'm done talking. I'm gonna zip it, but thank you, Tip, so much. My good buddy, my good friend Toyan, my girl, Marla, take it away from me so I can shut up.
Well, I can listen to you talk all day. So, but thank you all so much. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Thank you, Toyan. Thank you, Dr. Williams, for dropping those wonderful gems and jewels, because at the end of the day, we all have to be responsible for where we want to be in life. And Mr. Harris said it best, and Toyan followed up with that. So with that being said, we want to end. Thank you all for attending. Our next session will be starting in about 5 to 10 minutes. And on a personal note, I am following him because he is a philanthropic person, and I just appreciate what he's doing in the community and how he's showing up and showing out and showing people how to stand up and have a voice. So I appreciate that. That's my salute to you, and I appreciate you.
Love and
Attorney
respect.
Dickerson, one of our best down here, one of our top attorneys in the state. And we appreciate that she's contributing to Southern University Law Center. So Marla, youdabomb.com, sis.
Thank you. So thank you all. And Toyan, Dr. Williams, I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch with you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon, guys.